I was so looking forward to this game, but as we have well established here, life is full of relentless grinding disappointments. The story of Scorn is I have no clue. There's no dialogue and it's one of them games. You know what I mean? You're meant to look through all the rooms in the game and write a 10,000 word dissertation on each one to be able to understand what's really going on. With a world as intriguing as this, you could create a brilliant story, but all the game amounts to is you walk around getting penetrated by things and then you turn into a tumour at the end. Spoiler alert. Wouldn't really matter if the gameplay was any good, but it isn't. Here's how most of the game is. You go into a big environment, explore it a bit, and pull a load of switches that play out an overlong animation that amounts to fuck all. Then you explore a bit more and finally find the switch that does something and solve a little puzzle. This then lets you use the other switches that did nothing before. Does that sound boring, me duck? Because it clitting well is. The cool environment design and graphics only take the game so far. Admittedly, there are some larger puzzles that tickle the brain cells a bit, but you will get sick of activating gross switches that look like vaginas or penises. As for the combat, what in the Martin Clunes were they thinking? Early on in the game you get this dick gun, and no, that's not a joke, it has the range of an actual dick and can only fire twice before needing to recharge. And even better, you move so slowly that when it comes to dodging enemy projectiles, you have to read their minds and be 7,000 steps ahead of them to dodge it. That's if the game isn't making you fight them in very narrow corridors where you can neither dodge them or run around them. There's barely any cover to use and there are no stealth mechanics to try and sneak around, but I'm glad there's not, to be honest, because they will probably fuck that up as well. I just want to do a thought exercise with you. Imagine you're on the development team and someone comes up with the idea of the dick gun and shares it with you. You would think it's a stupid idea, right? I just don't get how anyone thought it was good. You do get other weapons later on apparently, I don't know, I didn't get that far because the game cheesed my onions that much. So with all this dodgy combat you will die and the game somehow cocks up its checkpoint system. How do you do that in this day and age? It sends you back very far, leading you to repeat puzzle sections you have already done as well as suffer the combat again. How fun. Ammo and health stations are very few and far between as well, which would lend a nice survival horror element to the game, but as I mentioned too many times, you have no choice but to fight. It's artificial difficulty at its finest. Whether it's that or incompetent development, I don't know. The game has a good sense of atmosphere and the animations are absolutely top shelf stuff, as well as gorgeous visuals all around. The H.R. Geiger aesthetic is pulled off amazingly, but it's like so many games nowadays. Looks pretty, plays like cheap dog food. Performance wise on the PC it stutters a lot but holds its frame rate most of the time. That's with a Ryzen 6 and a 1660 Ti. I tried it on the Series S as well and it ran fine. Overall, Scorn is total, unfiltered, undiluted dark green piss. Genuinely one of the worst games I've played this year, and SkillUp, who has nearly 1 million subscribers by the way, is recommending it. I want to know what game he played. Obviously people are entitled to their own opinions, but it's just factually wrong. There's nothing redeeming about the game besides its art style. They have the cheek to charge 32 quid for this as well on Steam. Fair enough sticking it on Game Pass, but apparently the game only takes about 5 to 6 hours to finish. There's much better things you can do with your money, like shoving it up your arse, eating a very hot curry, and then evacuating it all into the toilet and flushing it away.